Okay, so there's really only two main questions here, right? You've already got Action 5 Pro and are wondering, should you get Nano as well? Or you haven't got either and are wondering, which one do you get? There is a lot that is the same between the two cameras. In fact, sometimes I think Nano is just a shrunk down version of, shrunk down, a crushed version of Action 5 Pro, but then I remember that there is actually quite a lot that is different. But you know what, let's put the differences to one side for a minute and start with the key things that are the same. Both have a 1/1.3 inch sensor, both have a minimum focus distance of 35 centimeters, both can shoot in D-Log-M, both can shoot up to 4K 120, both can shoot in 10-bit color, and both allow you to connect up to two DJI wireless mics at a time, and both have a built-in audio mic backup function, so when you do have those wireless mics connected, just in case aliens and monsters come and block the transmission whilst you're recording, with that function turned on, the internal mics are still recording at the same time, so you have that as a backup. Both allow you to connect to the Mimo app to view and or control the cameras. Both have Both have rock steady stabilization, both have internal storage, but Nanos work slightly different. We'll come on to that in a minute. Both can support an SD card up to 1 terabyte. Both have a quick capture function, so when turned off, you can just press the record button and it will basically instantly start recording, so you never ever miss a moment. Both have a pre-recording and time capture function. Both have voice control. Both are compatible with the same mount, so if you already have Action 5 Pro mounts and you're thinking of getting Nano, you won't need to get any more, well, unless you want more, because the mounts for Action 5 are compatible with Nano. Both have 2 levels of wind reduction modes. Both have an horizon balancing option. Both allow you to set custom profiles. Both have the same low light mode, super night mode, and both can shoot up to a max bitrate of 120. Both have removable lens. Both have removable lens guards. So if you smash the cameras, you can replace. If you smash the cameras, you might be in a bit more trouble. If you smash the lenses, both of them have removable lens guards. So if you smash the lenses, you could just unscrew them and replace them yourself. And both can operate at a temperature from -20 to 45 degrees. All right, so there's a lot that's the same, but what actually are their differences? Nano's standalone camera is waterproof down to 10 meters. Action 5 is waterproof down to 20 meters. Nano's vision dock is not waterproof, so you can't submerge it in water, but it is IPX4 splash proof. Action 5 weighs 146 grams. Nano's standalone camera weighs 52 grams, and Nano on top of vision dock weighs, no, it's the wrong way. Nano on top of vision dock weighs 124 grams. Action 5 has a max field of view of 155 degrees. Nano has a max field of view of 143 degrees. Action 5 allows you to set an album password. So if you've taken some naughty shots and you don't want anyone to view those naughty shots, just set an album password. So only you can view those naughty shots. Nano doesn't have an album password, so anyone could view those naughty shots. Action 5 has 2 screens, one on the front, one on the back. So if you're walking around vlogging like this, you can see yourself in the front and then you can just turn it away to see what you're filming away. Nano only has 1 screen. So if you were walking around vlogging like this, and then you wanted to film in front, you've got to take the camera off, turn it round, so you can then, see what you're filming. It doesn't have 2 screens. It doesn't have a screen on the back. Would this be the back or the front? I don't know, whichever way you look at it. Anyway, the point is, Action 5 has 2 screens, Nano has 1. Action 5 has a 2 times digital, Action 5 has a 2 times digital zoom. Nano doesn't have any zoom. We did it. Nano has an endurance mode, so when turned on, it will save you more battery. Action 5 doesn't have an endurance mode. Action 5 has a D-Log-M color recovery function, so when you're shooting in D-Log-M and you turn that on, everything won't look flat, it will look colorful, so you can see how things essentially will look later on once you've fixed things in post. Nano doesn't have that. You can shoot in D-Log-M, but it doesn't have the color recovery function. When buying Action 5, you only have one option for the internal memory storage, 64 gigabytes. Nano, you have an option for 64 gigabytes or 128 gigabytes. But out of the internal storage of the 64 gigabytes on Action 5, you only have 47 gigabytes available to use to you. On Nano, with the 64 gigabyte version, you have 48 gigabytes available to use to you. With the 128 version, you get 107 gigabytes available to use to you. Nano's file sizes are slightly larger than Action 5, so for a 1 minute 4K 25 clip, Nano took up 600 megabytes. Action 5 took up 497 megabytes. Nano records direct internally. There is no option, no way to record direct to the SD card. So if you want the footage on the SD card, you must export the files from the internals to the SD card inside the camera. Like I said, there's no way to record direct to SD card with Nano. With Action 5, you get the option to record to the internals or direct to SD card. Nano has a detachable camera. Action 5 doesn't. The camera is stuck in there forever. Never gonna move. So that means that obviously Nano essentially works as two separate units, but obviously also comes together as one, which means that you have to make sure the Vision dock is charged and the camera is on top of the Vision dock to be able to play back footage. Whereas with Action 5, you don't have to think about any of that. As long as Action 5 is charged, you just play stuff back. So it's a slightly different way of thinking and working. Nano costs £239 for the 64 gigabyte version, £259 for the 128 gigabyte version. Action 5 costs £276, and that's for the standard bundle of both cameras. Action 5 has a removable battery. It is removable. Hold on. Promise it's removable. I can't get a grip. Got it, I told you. Action 5 has a removable battery. A Nano doesn't. And talking of battery, Action 5 lasted 158 minutes before he ran out of battery. Nano lasted 84 minutes before he ran out of battery. And that was my tests shooting at 4K 25. Action 5 has a webcam mode, Nano doesn't. Action 5 has 2 levels of Rocksteady stabilization, Rocksteady and Rocksteady Plus. Nano only has Rocksteady. Action 5 has a subject tracking mode. This is my subject tracking example. Well, actually it's more like the robot. Anyway, subject tracking on Action 5, no subject tracking on Nano, and Action 5 can display depth and altitude information, Nano can't. Action 5 has the option to add a field of view boost lens, which by the way is sold separately, but that boosts that expands the field of view to 182 degrees. Nano doesn't have that option. And Action 5 has 3 microphones and Nano only has 2. Action 5 doesn't have any gesture control. Nano kind of does. He's got a nod and pat function. So let's say Nano was on your chest. No, not chest. Let's say Nano was on your chest. You could pat to start a recording, or you could put him on your hat and nod to start a recording, but that doesn't actually stop a recording as well. So you can't pat or nod to stop the recording. You just got to press the button. Yeah, Action 5 doesn't have any of that. You just got to press the record button the old fashioned way. Nano does have a little bit of an issue with overheating versus Action 5. So when you're shooting in higher frame rates, let's say 4K 60, Nano can't handle that. And after about 10-15 minutes, you get an overheating message and he has to cool down before you can continue recording. Action 5 doesn't really have that issue in my tests. And even when shooting in 4K 60, doesn't shut off and say, I'm too hot stop recording. Let me cool down. Give me some ice. Action 5 side door is removable, so you can then insert USB-C accessories like receivers or power banks. Nano's side door is not removable, so it's harder to, put some USB-C accessories in there because of the way the door is positioned. So with the same sensor, same 10-bit color, you would think both of these cameras would look the same. All right, I'm on a mission. I'm out here, I'm looking. Basically, there's some new EV chargers that have popped up around here where I live. Seen some signs for the last week or so, but I haven't actually seen them. And when you drive an electric car, it's good to know where the electric chargers are. Like, it's good to have that reference in your head. If you know, because there's been a couple of times, especially in the colder weather, where I've let things get a little bit too low on the battery side of things. Now, I do have a charger at home, but there's been a couple of times where, I don't know, I get like a red flashing light and it doesn't work properly. So it's good to know in your head where the nearest battery source is. I do have a rough idea in my head where it is. It's like in the back of some car. Oh, look at this, we've got the plants. We've got the Halloween plants. Is it Halloween plants? Like the orangey plants. Anyway, it reminds me of Halloween. Autumn. Yeah, I do have a rough idea where it is. Basically, it used to be in a car park. No, sorry, no, it didn't used to be in a car park. It is next to a car park, which used to be a patch of grass. So I do know where I'm going. I'm not just like wandering around the area looking for, for these EV chargers. If you watched my Ultra versus Nano video, you'll be up to speed with my car issues. If you haven't, let me just quickly tell you. Basically, every time I drive, there's this like dun 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 noise at the back. So anyway, I took it to Tesla. They did their inspection, they replaced an arm and the noise was still there. They replaced something else, the noise was still there. Anyway, I had a call with a guy yesterday just before they shut. He says to me, they're 90% sure, because they escalated it to the master technician. There's levels. Yeah, master technician is 90% sure that's the drive unit. Now, I'm not too good with all the car bits and pieces, but when he said drive unit, I was like, you don't need to be a master to know what the drive unit is. Did a quick Google, yeah. It's one of the main bits of the car. So basically, he was trying to tell me that the drive unit replacement is going to cost about 12.5 grand. And I was like, what? 12.5 grand? He was like, yes, but I have a drive unit warranty active. So I was like, oh yes, okay. Because with Tesla you get 3 warranties, like the battery warranty, drive unit warranty, basic warranty. Luckily the drive unit warranty is active, but yeah, anyway, it's just a little bit of a mess and quite a big replacement that's going to need to be happened. It's going to need to happen. It's close. It is very, very close. They basically look and sound the same, like it is very close, but I think if I was diving in a little deeper, okay, I would say this. The audio coming from Action 5 Pro sounds a little bit more natural because I can hear more of the air sounds. Air sounds? The ambient sounds. I can hear more of the ambient sounds. Not in an overpowering way, like it blends in really well to make it sound really natural. When Nano comes in, it sounds like it's trying to isolate the voice more, so you don't get as much of the air sounds, which, yeah, it's really weird because I haven't picked up on that before, which is why I haven't said it, but I guess it's one of the things, until you hear or see something side by side with something else, maybe you don't pick up on things. I don't know, maybe you disagree, I don't know, go back and watch it again and see if you hear the same thing. In terms of visuals, I would say Nano looks a little bit more washed out next to Action 5 Pro. I would say Action 5 Pro looks a little bit more brighter and clearer as well, which is weird, the settings were the same. Even the texture was set to -1 on them both, which is how I always set it. And I'm not saying Nano was mega blurry, but I just think side by side again, yeah, I just think things were a little bit more clearer and popping from Action 5 Pro. But look, that was during the day. So during the night, at night, they both have the same low light mode, super night mode, and they both have the same sensor. So you would think both of them would look the same in low light. Right. Several hours have passed, as you can see. I'm still wandering around, looking for the power. I'm joking, I know where it is. It's behind here. So, this is quite a dark area we're going into. See, there are some lights on, But other than that, this patch here hasn't got any lights from above. Obviously we've got some car lights, and down here we get even darker. Oh, spooky. Got a little bit of light going on over here. I do kind of like it this time of year when it gets dark, you know, a bit earlier. I'm here for it. I'm here for the cozy winter months ahead. And just like that, there are the EV chargers that I've been walking around for 8 hours trying to find. Look how fresh it looks. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so this literally used to be a patch of grass, and now it's not. It's where we can get some power from. Yeah, low light, I guess, is where you can see the real difference. You can see it a bit more clear. No, a bit more. Yeah, you can see. Oh, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. You can see it. You can see the bright. You know what? You can see the difference. You can see the difference more in the low light than in the daylight, which is interesting, isn't it? Because obviously they're both using the same sensor in the same low light mode. I guess there's just more processing going on in Action 5 Pro than there is in Nano. I personally, yeah, I mean, I don't use these cameras in low light anyway. I would only use Action 5 in low light as a last resort. I definitely wouldn't use Nano. I just think at this stage it's unusable. But then when Action 5 Pro came out, I wasn't a massive fan of the Super Night. And over time, as the firmware got better and they did this adjustment and that, like it's a bit more usable in my opinion than it was at the beginning. So I don't know, you know how it is with all this stuff. Hopefully over time they'll make some adjustments in the firmware, and yeah, Nano will get to a level where it's maybe a little bit more usable in low light, in Super Night. Low light Super Night, yeah. Okay, look, if you've already got Action 5 Pro, unless you absolutely need a smaller, lighter camera to put on your chest, to put on your hat, to, I don't know, put anywhere, to get those, put in your mouth, to get those POV shots, or you want to stick the camera somewhere that Action 5 Pro can't go to get those cool, unique shots, really, there's no point in getting Nano as well as Action 5 Pro, unless you need that POV stuff, right? Because you could use Action 5 Pro as a POV camera. That's where you have to ask yourself, like, what are you using the camera for? Because, you know, if you are putting Action 5 on your chest or your hat a lot, yes, it's heavy, it's gonna weigh you down. So Nano would be a great addition if that's the case. If you don't have either of these cameras, again, ask yourself, what are you gonna be using the camera for? If it's mainly POV, 100% without question, you're gonna go with Nano, because it can, yeah, practically go anywhere and you won't really feel it because it's so light. Whereas if you, yeah, attach Action 5 Pro to your chest and you're running, it's gonna weigh you down. So you'll definitely feel the difference. If you're planning on using the camera as like a vlogging camera as well, I would say Action 5 Pro would be better because, yeah, you could vlog with Nano, but it's annoying, right? Because you've got to keep moving the camera around when you want to film yourself and then move it away when you want to film out. It's just annoying. Whereas with the screen on the front of Action 5 Pro and on the back, you just, yeah, hold the camera like that. You can see yourself, face it around, and that's over there. The battery's removable, which is a really big thing with Action 5 Pro because, yeah, I mean, even the battery itself is bigger. I mean, 158 minutes versus 84. The numbers speak for themselves, and you can really feel it when you're using the cameras side by side. Like, this drains a lot quicker. So on the battery side of things, you know, being able to remove it and then have spares in your bag and replace it, like, it makes a massive, massive difference. And obviously the action-y stuff is better on Action 5 Pro because it's more sturdier, whereas, yeah, Nano is a little bit more flimsier and plastic. But look, you have to ask yourself, what are you going to be using the cameras for? One thing I would say is, remember though, how you record with Nano is different to Action 5 Pro in terms of you can't record direct to SD card. So when you record internally, you then have to export everything to an SD card, which is a bit annoying when you're out there and does take some time. So it's one thing that you really need to, yeah, remember. Because I was shocked the first time I did it at how long it actually took. So yeah, ask yourself, what are you gonna be using these cameras for? If it's purely POV, without question, go with Nano. If it's anything else like vlogging or just a normal camera, kind of like that, action-y stuff, then obviously get Action 5 Pro. If I had none of these cameras and could only get one of these cameras, based on how I would use a camera, it would have to be Mr. Action 5 Pro.